Hey, Daniel.
Yeah, Philip.
So I was thinking about something the other day. I was thinking about how there's DC comics.
Yeah.
Comics. And I started thinking about how in reality you should be like the number one DC fan.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because my initials?
Exactly, because of your initials.
Yeah.
And then I was like thinking about me, and I was like, oh man, there's like no movie franchise for like PO. And then I was like, oh man, I'm just so pissed off.
Okay. All right. Today
Yeah.
is
Season 2.
season 2, episode 1 of season 2.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, we are with a good old cold open.
Yeah.
Classic cold open.
That's right. Very classic.
So what are we talking? Well, go ahead and introduce the show, I guess, for people who have not heard it before.
This is Classic Countdown Conversations, where we count down the best and the worst that media has to offer.
I am Daniel Cardiff.
And I am Philip Osterday.
And today we are talking about our favorite show of all time. I believe it's your favorite show.
I would say by far my favorite drama.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I guess there's comedies as well. It is by far my favorite show. With The Office will always hold a special place in my heart.
There's a few episodes of shows that trump things.
Okay, all right. But overall, I'd say this is the best television show ever.
Yeah, it's really good.
And we're going to be talking about the best moments of Breaking Bad based on the new movie that just came out, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. It came out what?
Based on meaning like because of because we're not basing anything off of the
yeah. So we won't be talking about any moments from El Camino or Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
I have not watched Better Call Saul.
I've started to,
and Philip just started to. We have both seen El Camino now.
Yeah.
But Breaking Bad, it's from episode 1 of Breaking Bad to the finale of Breaking Bad. We were talking about the best moments that we could remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while since. I mean, I've only watched the show one time. However, my memory serves a lot better than Philip sometimes.
Well, yeah. Hey, speaking of memory, what was your favorite part of El Camino?
Spoilers for El Camino.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet. I like the little like Western showdown at the end.
My favorite part was like when the engine started revving. I don't remember the part
when the
that you're
engine
talking.
started revving.
It was like vroom vroom El Camino. Vroom,
oh, okay. Do you really not remember the part I'm talking about?
I'm being silly, Daniel.
All right.
Being
I was gonna
silly.
say, if you can't remember that, then something's wrong. Okay, so I'm trying to think here. I want to make sure that we do all the things that we promised to start doing in season 2 last week.
I want to first thank our good friend John Budell.
Yes.
For giving us a new logo.
Yes. I did thank him on Instagram.
Oh, thanks, John. Check him out. What's his Instagram?
I think it's Bon Judel.
Bon Judel, Bohn, and then Judel. I don't know how he spells it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at something.
That's how it is, I think.
So, best Breaking Bad moments. A moment we discussed a little bit earlier. We're not going to include an entire episode on this list. We will, however, include everything from like a segment or a sequence of events to just a scene, to a line, to a moment, to a facial expression, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anything can kind of be a moment, but we did cut the line off at an entire episode. We're not going to do that.
We're trying better than we did with Avengers.
yeah, where we talk about pretty much every aspect of the film. If your favorite moment is not on this list, then let us know, and maybe we'll come back later on and do another list of best Breaking Bad moments. But I think we covered the playing field pretty well.
Yeah. This is not top 10. This is top 20
We are doing top 20
plus honorable mentions.
10 honorable mentions, actually.
Holy cow.
So 30 altogether. Do you want to do the honorable mentions, or do you want us to both do them? How are you wanting to do that?
I'll do them all.
You'll do them all?
I'll do them all.
Okay.
Give me the reins, Daniel.
Okay. Go from bottom to top.
All right. Honorable mention number 1. Tortuga, is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tortuga dies, and his turtle. He has a head on his turtle.
Yep.
Pizza.
Oh, wait. Hold on. If you have not seen Breaking Bad, this is the one time I'm gonna advocate for this.
No.
No. Just listen.
Don't say what you're about to say.
Shut this episode off right now.
No, don't listen to Daniel.
Go watch Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad's better than Classic Countdown Conversations, and
No.
I do not want anything to be spoiled for you if you have not seen this glorious show. So go watch Breaking Bad, go binge watch it, then come back and listen to this episode. All right. I'm sorry.
I said the exact opposite of what
we
Daniel
did just
says.
spoil a character's death.
Sorry.
That has to do with a turtle. But other than that, you will hear no spoilers from us.
No, you'll hear all the spoilers.
I meant like,
if you don't listen.
from here on out, it's their own fault.
Yes. Okay. All right. The pizza throw when Walter White throws the pizza on the roof.
On his very first try.
Very, very impressive. Magnets, and I can't say the next word.
Yeah, if you know the show, you know what we're talking about.
The very entrance of Saul, Better Call Saul.
Yeah, so I guess that's almost an entire episode.
Yeah, I
but
suppose
we'll
so.
just kind of say like
It's an honorable mention.
the idea of Saul coming into the show.
Daniel has it written down as Walter Jr. to the rescue. So that's when he defends his mom
Against his father.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the series.
The very opening shot with the pants and flying in the air.
You're like, what's going on?
What
here?
is this show? Walt deciding to cook meth.
Yeah, and I would add on to that when he asks Jesse to help him.
Yeah. Walt's confession tape. It's a good one. It's a good one.
These next 3 we were kind of struggling not to put into our actual list.
Yeah.
So that one and the next 2 are very good aspects of the show.
The next one's when Walt decides to shave his head, and he becomes Heisenberg basically.
And what he throws the explosive in Tuco's office.
That's part of our top 20.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, because remember you said, "Hey, change the name of Tuco's office
You're
to
right.
shave the head."
That's not actually what I told you to do, but you did it, and now I understand why.
Okay, yeah, I think it's in the same episode, so we'll just lump those 2 together.
That's all together. I was saying you could put it together. I didn't mean that you could just call it that.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. It's all right. I forgive you.
And our best honorable mention
is when Gus Fring decides to murder the Mexican cartel with poison.
It's like a mass murder.
Yeah, he poisons himself and
Yeah.
then throws it up so that he doesn't die. It's impressive.
Two little things that I've noticed over time about this show, just through looking at fan theories and analysis and stuff of the show. One of them I picked up on. One of them I picked up on while watching the show. The best running joke of the show is that Walt's windshield keeps getting smashed in. And then if you go back and kind of look at the show, Walt picks up mannerisms of the people that he kills.
Oh.
So when Gus Fring throws that stuff up, he folds that little towel by the toilet. Walt does that later on, I believe.
Interesting.
He also, and we'll get to this moment here in a little bit, but a certain character cuts the crust off of his sandwiches.
Okay.
And then later on in the show, Walt does it as well. Yeah, so he kind of picks up on little mannerisms of his victims. Okay. Anything else before we start? Any disclaimers or warnings or anything like that?
No.
That we need to be aware of?
No, I'm jazzed that it's season 2.
I know. And what better topic to talk about? Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Okay. Philip, you're also going to mention our number 20.
No, I thought you were. Oh,
No,
you're right.
you're
You're right.
doing
You're right. And that's great because this is one of my favorites.
I know. That's why I had you say.
I see. All right. So in the very first episode,
Yeah.
Walt is teaching. He's still a high school teacher for chemistry, and he says, technically, chemistry is the study of matter, but I prefer to see it as the study of change. It's growth, then decay, then transformation. And so I like rewatched the very first episode like a few months ago or something, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the whole show.
Yeah, this is the foreshadowing.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty cool. So I love it. Well done, Vince Gilligan, for playing that out.
Let's give a little round of applause for Vince Gilligan,
Well done.
Brian Cranston, and Aaron Paul.
And everybody else.
Yeah, but mainly those three. Okay. I was gonna maybe say something else. Nope. Okay.
Okay. Cool. That was number 20.
So that Philip, ever since he found that out, he just texts me probably every night about it.
Yeah, almost every day.
Okay, number 19. This is the moment that Jesse, he finally kills the fly. For those of you who don't know, there's an episode called, I think it's just called The Fly.
I hope it is.
I think it is.
And then they say, help me.
And then, Emperor's New Groove kicks in. And
That's not.
I know.
Daniel,
There's
don't even ruin the moment by mentioning Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove is great.
No.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay, so
No, The Fly.
there's an episode like smack dab in the middle of the series where the entire plot comes to a complete halt, and Walt and Jesse try to kill a fly that is in their laboratory.
Yeah.
It's awesome. This is like the episode to where you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
Philip and I love this episode.
Yes.
Towards the end, Jesse slips Walt some sleeping pills, I think. And Walt's kind of fallen asleep, and he's just like rambling on as Walt does.
Yes.
He never stops talking. And he starts talking about an event that we will get to here in a little bit. And you're kind of on your edge of the edge of your seat because you think he's about to confess to something that he's done while he's kind of falling asleep.
That Jesse has no idea about.
Jesse has no idea about it. All the while, Jesse's up on this ladder trying to kill this fly that's up on a pipe up on the ceiling. And just as Walt falls asleep, before he confesses to something, Jesse kills the fly, and you say, "Oh man, okay." This small little story that they've built into this episode about them trying to kill a fly has a resolution.
Yes.
They killed the fly. It's awesome. It's a nice little breather from the really kind of like stressful storytelling of the show.
Yes.
With a little bit of anxiety with Walt about ready to spill the beans. So it's a good little moment, good little scene.
Yeah. Number 18 is, we just titled it as acetone.
Yeah.
So this is, they basically kill the two druggies, and to get rid of the body, what do you got to do? You got to use some acetone. And so basically, Walter decides that the best course of action would be, well, I'm sorry, Jesse decides to put him in the tub upstairs, which ends up going through the whole house.
Yeah, it backfires.
And they have to clean up a giant
I'm
mess.
trying to think. It's at the end of episode 2 or 3 that this happens. The show starts off with, it's like, oh, okay, we're getting right into this stuff. It's awesome. It either happens at the end of 2 or 3, and then the next episode is the aftermath of them cleaning it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, go on.
That's it.
Yeah, I forget. Walt buys big tubs or something, like a big barrel.
Yeah.
But Jesse can't fit him in or something, so he's like, I'll just do it in the bathtub.
Yeah, something like that. And he doesn't want to cut him up, basically.
Yeah. So it's a bit of dark humor.
Yes. Oh, it's very dark. I must say that this show will change. It'll change your mood for the day. Mm-hmm. it's just a little much, but it's so good.
The writing, acting, and plot and characters is top notch.
So good.
A plus. Number 17. And I think this actually is quite high on most lists.
Yeah.
Now this is number 17 of all Breaking Bad moments ever, so I'd say it's still pretty high.
Pretty dang high.
And that's the crawl space scene.
Yeah.
Where Walter basically he just loses it. He starts laughing like a crazy person would do.
Yeah.
Like in an insane asylum.
Well, Skylar had just given him, or just told him that she gave all the money to her boyfriend.
Yeah. So he's in the bath, like underneath the bathroom, I believe.
He's in the
crawl space,
yeah.
but she's looking down at him through the bathroom, and he just he kind of snaps for a few minutes. And he just starts laughing. There's a great overhead shot of him through the floor, just on the ground laughing, and Skylar is kind of freaking out at that point. Because at that point Skylar is in cahoots with him.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many weird subplots of the show. Like when they lie to Hank and Marie and Walt Jr. about his gambling problems.
Oh yeah,
there's like a bunch of
that.
weird little side stories.
I think Vince Gilligan was like, "How would I try to
cover this up?"
Yeah. Okay. Number 16. Crazy 8 dying. So this is Walt's very first murder.
Yes.
And he
Very
basically
early on in the show.
he's like basically trying to, he doesn't want to murder him.
Yeah.
And then Crazy 8 kind of confesses that he's going to kill him.
Well, we'll go on.
And then what were you going to say?
Well, I'll explain exactly how it comes to be.
All right.
But,
Please do.
okay, so Walt, because he's still a good man at this point. He's
just trying to make a buck so that he can live.
Yeah, because I guess if they ignored my disclaimer at the beginning about not watching the show, basically the idea of the show is he gets lung cancer, so he starts cooking meth in order to provide his family with money once he's dead.
Right.
There you go. And he's a chemistry teacher, so that's why he's so good at cooking meth. So he's still a good man, and they have Crazy 8 down in the basement of this house. And he brings him a sandwich with the crust cut off. That's the character that he.
Oh, okay.
So he cuts the crust off. He brings it down, but he has a seizure or one of his coughing spells, and he collapses on the floor, and the glass plate shatters in front of Crazy 8.
That's right.
Well, when he's picking up later, and Crazy 8 has convinced him to let him live, he picks up the glass shards, goes upstairs, and realizes that they're not all there.
Yep.
And he realizes, oh, if I let this guy go, he's going to kill me with the other glass shard.
Yep.
Which turns out to be true.
Yep.
So he strangles him to death.
Yep. With a bike lock.
Yeah, on a pole that he's chained to.
Oh, and it's awful.
Well, you're just like, wow. Again, like right off the bat in episode like 2 or 3, you're like, oh, okay, all right, well... His first murder happens this early on in the show.
He's like doing it, and he's like saying, "I'm sorry."
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's so. This show just gives you such a mixed bag of emotions. Okay, before we move on, we promised you guys last week that we're gonna start adding in some new segments.
That's right.
So I think I'll go ahead and just do my segment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's your segment called?
Oh shoot! Hold on, I gotta go get a musical instrument.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Just keep them entertained.
We'll see.
Tell them that I'm not musically talented.
Hey everybody, just now that he's gone, just wanted to let you know. On Instagram, please just every comment say that Phil's the best host. Okay, bye. Oh, what an instrument you chose.
What is this?
That is a snare drum.
A snare drum. All right. Okay, so Philip just out of nowhere said last week that I was going to have a musical element to my thing. So I guess that's what's happening now.
All right, cool.
It will morph into probably a guitar within the year.
All right.
But for right now, it's going to be this. So.
Oh, okay. Oh.
There we go.
Nice.
That's my little intro.
I like that. I like that intro.
Okay, so this is Daniel's Thought Corner.
Okay.
And this is where I just talk about the thought that I have.
Okay. All right.
My thought today is you should not make your bed.
Oh, okay. All right. You should not make your bed.
You should not make it because it's a waste of time.
Okay.
So most people I know are like, yeah, I got up. I made my bed. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you waste precious time? Because guess what's going to happen at the end of the day?
You're going to unmake it.
You're going to unmake it. Why would you make something that you destroy every day?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
Why?
Do you
Yeah,
really want to debate this for a moment
Yeah,
here?
I do.
All right.
This is what this segment's all about.
All right. I like making my bed.
Is it like a...
Now listen, I don't make my bed very often. Lindsay does most of the time.
Okay, she's wasting your time.
She's wasting her time. My time is not wasted. I like it because it feels different. I personally, now what's funny, it's wasting Lindsay's time. My time is not wasted when making a bed because I like to feel like the sheets are as tight as possible underneath the bed, and I'm like I can't move. They're like so tucked underneath there.
Okay.
Lindsay likes to like feel free. She wants her feet outside.
Yeah.
And like the blankets like piled on top of her in an unruly manner.
Me too.
And I do not like that. I do not like that one bit. And so I need my bed made before I can get in it because I have a very particular way of sleeping.
Okay. So that's your personal preference.
Yeah. I'm not saying.
Yeah. And I guess mine's a personal preference as well. But I have two little arguments for you.
Okay.
One, what else on a daily basis do you make and then destroy? Other than food.
Yeah, I was gonna say food. Exactly.
But we need that to live.
I need sleep to live.
You need sleep, but you don't. I mean, I could go to sleep on that rug right there.
If I was tired enough.
Yeah, exactly. My number 2 argument is it's actually to make your bed gives you a better chance of getting bed bugs
Because
it is darker. If you leave your bed open to where the sun can get on it, bed bugs will not embed into it. However, if the sheets are all over top your bed and the sun cannot get to it, that's
where
a
are
better...
your sheets going when you don't make your bed?
Huh?
What? Are your sheets still not on top of your bed?
No, it is, but it's, my comforter is kind of like crumpled up a little bit and the sun can get to it easier.
You're wild.
I'm a wild man.
You're a monster.
That's my thought for the day is you should not make your bed.
All right, play your outro music.
Okay. Oh my.
Very good. Very good. Oh. Okay. All right. Very good.
Thank you. What are you laughing about, you weirdo? Okay.
Nothing.
Now back to the serious show about Breaking Bad.
Okay.
What's number 15? Oh, no, I have number 15.
Yeah.
It is the box cutter scene.
Oof.
So it's after a big string of events, actually.
It is a lot of
and we
things
actually
going on.
have quite a few of these in the thing. Why are you sending me this text message right now? Okay, all right. Glad you didn't send that to me. All right. The box cutter scene. So basically, set up for this scene. Stop texting. You're distracting me. You done?
I'm done.
All right.
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so the box cutters. I see you texting
I'm
something right
I'm not
now.
texting you.
Okay,
I'm looking at the,
okay,
at the
all right.
list. Don't you worry.
So Gus, who ends up being the main villain of seasons 3 and 4, Gus is angry.
Angry.
Walt and Jesse have done some stuff. So basically, they're down in the lab. It's them three, Mike, and I always forget that character's name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyways, Randall or something. I don't know. So they're sitting down. Walt and Jesse are, and Walt is basically pleading for their lives.
Yeah,
but he's very arrogant, rightfully so. I mean, he's telling the truth, but he's saying like, if you kill me, you're not getting any more money because I'm your money maker. Like all this stuff. If you kill Jesse, you don't get me. All this stuff, and all the while, Gus is he's putting on some like this hazmat type suit.
Yeah.
And Walt just will not shut up. He's just talking and talking. Gus is not saying a word. Once he gets on this thing, he pulls out this box cutter knife.
Yep.
And again, Walt, you can kind of see the fear of Walt, like, oh, he's about to kill me.
Yeah.
Gus then kills the fifth guy in the room.
Yeah.
His like bodyguard guy. He slits his throat.
Yes, with the box cutter.
With the box cutter. And just holds him at bay until he's dead.
Yep.
Drops him on the floor, and Walt and Jesse are speechless for the first time.
Yes.
Probably, maybe in the entire show, Walt is left with no words to say. Gus then undresses. He takes off the hazmat suit, walks up the steps, turns to them, and says something along the lines of like, "I'll see you at work tomorrow," or something like that, and walks out.
Yep.
The scene. You're just on the edge. Most of these moments, you're just on the edge of your seat. Like you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
Yep.
And that scene, when I think of like great moments of the show, that's honestly probably one of the first ones that pops into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, the box cutter scene. It's crazy.
Because you don't expect it. You have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You never do with Gus.
Yeah, he's
an enigma.
Yeah, he's a mystery man.
Okay.
Okay, so number 14 is The Great Train Robbery.
Yeah.
It sounds like a whole nother show.
Yeah, it does. Well, I think it was an old movie, but
yeah. So this is when they need methamphetamine,
yeah,
drug stuff
to make
and
meth.
they need a lot of it.
Yeah,
and so their big plan is to do a train robbery a train that has it on it. And
it's
so,
awesome.
The thing that makes it good is that it shows Walt's like ingenuity and smartness.
Yes, his intellect on a very grand level.
Yeah, because they have to replace it, otherwise they'll get caught.
Right.
So they replace it with water, which weighs different, and so Walt knows exactly how to. Change it all, and it's
they like fake a car breaking down on the train tracks, so the train has to stop. I think Walt and Jesse are on top of the train, and Todd is down near the hole.
Oh.
And I was telling Philip, I was jumping up and down on my couch while watching this for the first time.
You were crouching like Gollum on your seat, waiting for your precious show to have a resolution.
And boy, does it. Would you like to explain the ending of this episode?
Yes. So they do it. They successfully steal everything. Very, very close to the end.
Yeah. Like, Todd is a newer character at this point.
Yeah,
you don't know too much about him.
Yeah, and they look over, and who's there?
A little child is teased at the very beginning.
Yes. Ugh.
And you're at this point, you're like, where's that child at? Why did they show him?
Yeah, and Breaking Bad does stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
it's
they
just
do.
kind of like, oh, it's just a shot.
But then it definitely comes back later. There's no loose ends at the end of the show.
Yeah, so the little boy comes riding up on his motorcycle. Is that what it is?
It's like a little dirt bike thing.
And does Todd shoot him just right there? Just dead? Just done dead?
And Jesse yells, because Jesse has a soft spot for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey. And then Todd just pulls out a gun and shoots the kid.
Ugh, Todd.
And he keeps the tarantula, as we know in El Camino.
Oh yeah,
because that little boy collected a tarantula.
man. Oh man,
So Todd's a little psychopath.
he is a little psychopath.
He is a good character, but he's definitely psycho.
Gosh, in El Camino, you definitely see how much of a psycho he is. Too.
Yeah, he's like eating soup while
There's
they're
just a dead person next to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that whole segment of the train robbery leading into them to Todd killing a kid is like heartbreaking. Ugh. And then you see like I think my favorite aspect of the show is that while Walt is losing his morality, Jesse's gaining his.
That's true.
Because like as you see the aftermath of that in the next episode, Jesse is like struggling really bad with this kid dying, and then you see Walt isn't really.
Yeah, he's just he's getting past it already.
Yeah, he's even like whistling while he's cooking meth. Like you know what I mean? Like and Jesse's starting to see like, okay, this isn't the same guy I started this with.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
What a great show.
I know I can't even like talk about how good this show is because there are no words for it.
Yeah. Well, it's also terrifying.
Okay, number 13 is Hank's realization and his almost realization.
Yeah.
So this is when he's on the toilet and he finds that book that Walt has. That was part of an investigation earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. And he finally realizes, Walt is Heisenberg.
Yep, WW.
Yeah, so then he has a flashback to a scene that happened earlier in the show where he sees the WW in this book that was left at the crime scene. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what does WW stand for? He's like, Willy Wonka, Woodrow Wilson. He's like, Walter White. He kind of like puts his hands up in a joking manner. He's like, you got me. Uh-huh. And then they move on.
Yep.
Walter comes up with some bullcrap excuse. I don't remember what it is. But then the book is in his house later on.
Yep.
Because it was his. And Hank is like, because it's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah.
He looks up kind of at eye level with the camera and then it ends.
Yep.
First off, this is probably the dumbest thing that Walt ever does.
Keeping the book.
Keeping it like that out in the open.
Yeah.
It's just like on the toilet.
That's true. I don't even know what the book is. I don't remember what it is about.
It's a character that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. He gifts it to Walt.
Oh, okay.
So Hank's realization of, okay, this guy that I've been hunting for the last year is my brother-in-law.
Yep. Ugh.
And then the next episode, you kind of see the aftermath. He like drives his car off the road, and Marie, his wife's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And, good,
Man.
good stuff. Okay,
So good. Next is when did we put this as one thing?
no,
No. Okay, so it's when Walt poisons Brock.
yeah. So we never see it,
Yeah.
but it's the finale of the 4th season.
Yeah.
It's the last
explain
shot.
it. You explain it real quick.
Okay, so this little boy that Jesse's grown attached to through it's his girlfriend's kid.
Yeah.
He gets poisoned, and he thinks it's Walt. Well,
Yes.
Walt again, he bullcraps his way through it.
Yes.
And then at the end, he's talking to Walt, and he's like, "Yeah, so it wasn't ricin after all. Mm-hmm. They found out it was this flower. What's it called? The
I don't remember.
lily of the valley."
Yeah, that might be it.
And he's like, apparently a lot of kids like, end up getting poisoned by it or whatever.
Yeah.
And Walt's like, oh, okay. Well, then I think it's the last shot of the 4th season.
Yeah,
it's a pan in of Walt's backyard.
Yep.
And it zooms in on a lily of the valley flower that's by his pool. And it's like, dang,
Walt.
he poisoned the kid to get Jesse to stick around. Man, Walt. And I just remember sitting there, I was like, wow, This show, the writing, it's amazing.
Ugh, what's going on?
Okay,
11.
it's me.
It's you. I'm sorry I made you do that one.
No, it's okay. That is a big spoiler again. Mike's death,
Oh.
which is probably the death that you want to happen least in the show.
Yeah. He's kind of a jerk at the beginning, and so then you begin to love him. By the end.
Well,
that's
him
what
and
makes it so
Jesse,
hard.
end up having a pretty good friendship. Well, what makes it so hard is that he was literally on his way out.
Yep.
He was going to live the rest of his life away from this whole mess of a situation.
Was he going to be with his granddaughter?
No, he was.
He definitely had the money. For
He had the
her.
money for her. He was gonna leave and then just send it to her.
Yeah. Can I spoil some stuff from
Yeah.
Better Call Saul?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So he they explain some of that beginning
Okay.
of like him like coming to Albuquerque and like being with his like trying to hang out with his granddaughter and
Yeah.
stuff, and just all it's like, oh, it's such a good little backstory that makes that moment even
More
harder.
heart wrenching.
Yeah. Oh
And I think that's the moment I hate Walt most.
yeah.
Is when he shoots Mike, because it's almost like he does it. It's like his emotions take over for a second.
Yeah.
And he shoots Mike because then he has a look of like, oh crap, what have I just done?
Yeah.
But then he's like, well, I've started it. I have to finish it, and
Yeah.
he chases after him. And I love Mike because he's one of the only characters that will tell Walt off.
Yes.
Because he comes down, Mike's looking at the river or whatever it is, and Walt again just keeps talking.
Yeah.
He's like, it didn't have to happen like this, Mike, or it had to happen like this.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And Mike, I won't repeat the line exactly because it has a bad word in it, but he's like, for once in your life, will you just shut up
Yeah.
and let me die in peace? And then he falls over dead.
Ugh. Oh, Mike. We miss you, Mike.
I know. That was one. There's two characters in the show that do die, and we'll get to the other one here in a little bit. That I was just like, they're not like, and never in a million years would I have thought that they would kill off that character.
Oh.
And Mike was one. I was
Yeah.
just like, he's not main, like he's a main character. I was like, but he's secondary enough to where I feel like they can probably write him out and it not be a big deal.
Yeah.
But never did I think they would kill him. It made me sad.
All right.
Top 10, the
top
best top 10 moments of Breaking Bad.
Wow. Let's do a little something first.
Oh yeah, okay.
Get fit.
There it is.
Oh, whew. She got it.
Yeah,
So you know what the music means, Daniel.
I do. It means Patreon.
And Patreon is a web platform where listeners like you,
Yes.
who's listening, you specifically, can give us some cash so that we can make a good show. You can show your appreciation with some cash money, like how it works in America. And
Yeah, it's like it's like when you listen to our stuff and you don't pay, it's like sneaking into a movie theater. It's
That's
not
right.
morally right.
yeah, or going online and streaming a movie that you should have bought.
Yeah.
but you did it.
Or like
illegally.
dining and dashing. I
Or-
think that's a good because
Yeah.
everyone can relate to eating. So it's like dining and dashing.
I've never dined and dashed.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's because you feel morally wrong about
That's
it.
right. Yeah, and these jokers who have been dining and dashing our episodes,
Yeah.
need to start paying up.
Yeah.
So pay up.
You've
all right?
dined and dashed 52 times.
That's right. So here's your chance to come back. So go to patreon.com/classic countdown conversations. And guess what? We're so dang generous that we'll give you some stuff in return.
Yeah.
And starting soon, we're going to have a video series.
We will. We're going to film the first one today.
We're filming the first. I don't know when Daniel's going to put it up, but he better.
I will.
He's got to edit
Well,
it too.
I'll edit it, send it to you, and then you can put it on Patreon.
I'm not going to do that. That's all on you.
Okay. All right.
And so that's that. So there's 3 tiers.
Yep.
There's a $5 tier.
Okay.
There's a $10 tier.
Okay.
There's a $100 tier.
Yep.
And you gotta say it, gangsta.
A hundo.
Hundo. And so that's that.
Okay.
They have different levels and things that you can return. And I highly suggest the $10 tier because it makes the most sense. But
Yeah, I agree. I think all of our Patreons do the $10 tier so far.
so
yeah,
that's
you
that.
get the most for your buck.
Buckaroos.
Yep.
So that's Patreon. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
think you did a pretty dang good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right.
Number 10.
Yeah, you go.
Number 10 is when Walt says, I did it for me. And so basically this is season 6.
No, 5.
5. Season 6
Why
in
do you
my
think
mind.
there's 6 seasons?
There should be 6 seasons, I guess.
There's 5 seasons of the show.
6 seasons in my mind. So basically in the 5th season.
You know why I think that? You know why I think you keep thinking that?
Why?
Is because the stores, when they were releasing these things on DVD, they released them seasons 1 and 2 in a box set, 3 and 4 on a box set,
And 5 and 6.
5 and something called the final season, which I think was like a little short documentary.
Oh.
So I think you're thinking there's the 5th season and then the final season, but really the 5th season is the final
No,
season.
I can tell you exactly why I keep saying there's 6 seasons.
Why?
Because there's 6 seasons of Lost.
Oh, okay.
And that's
Don't even
all
bring
shows-
don't
all
even
shows-
bring that crap show
all
into this
shows
discussion.
deserve to have 6 seasons.
That's such a weird thing. Okay.
Anyway, so I don't know why my mind correlates it, but anyways, 5 seasons.
Okay.
On the 5th season, Walt is talking to Skylar. Mm-hmm. Is this
This is the last episode.
so it's the last time he talks to Skylar,
Yes.
and he's talking to her, and she's not having it,
Yep.
and he's saying, "I just wanted to let you know that all the things that I have done," and she interrupts him. She says, "If I hear you say one more time that you've done it for our family," and he says, "No, I did it for me."
Which is like crazy.
Yeah.
Because throughout the entire show, he keeps saying, Skylar, I'm doing this for the family.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep us afloat money wise. I'm trying to support you guys once I'm gone, all this stuff. Through the first 5, 4.5 seasons, that's all that you hear come out of his mouth to Skylar.
Yep. And then he's like, "And I liked it. I
Yeah.
was good at it."
It's like, oh man. But you're like, you see a little bit more insight that he's never let out about what he's doing. It's
Yeah.
like, and you kind of see it through his actions, but he's finally admitting to it.
That's right. Yep.
That whole last episode's so somber
Yeah.
because he's accepted what's about to happen,
Yep.
and he's making amends with everyone he needs to make amends with. Mm-hmm. So that line, say it one more time.
I did it for me.
There you go.
He doesn't say with that much gravitas.
Says I
but
did it for me. But then he holds his baby daughter one last time
Well, that's true.
right after that, and then he's outside of the house and he just watches Walt Jr. get off. He gets dropped off from school,
Yeah.
and he just walks up and he's just kind of, because Walt Jr. hates him at this point.
Yep.
So he knows he can't say anything without Walt Jr. Blowing up at him. So he just watches his son one last time, just kind of do his thing. And,
Could you imagine if your dad became a drug lord? And then,
Can you hear my stomach?
no, I didn't.
It was growling.
Oh,
We need to get lunch here in a little bit.
and we should.
No, I can't imagine.
Thanks for that lead up.
To answer your question, I can't imagine that. Okay, what's next? Me.
Yeah.
Again, this is usually at the top of
Yeah.
lists.
Say
Again,
it,
somebody-
Daniel. Say it.
Say my name. That was pretty good.
That was all right.
That
That
was
was a
pretty
little more growly and aggressive.
No, well, he's an older man than I am. So, say my name. It's when he's like fully accepting that he's not Walter
Yeah.
White anymore.
Yeah.
He's Heisenberg.
Yep.
And then again, we can't say the entire line because there's a bad word in it. But he says, that's right.
It's not as exciting without the cursing.
I know. But yeah, what a moment. This is beginning of season 4. And this
Is it that far in? Jeez.
Yeah. No, this is right after the events of Jesse pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And then the car of the scene that we just watched earlier.
Yeah.
It's like right after that.
Ugh.
When he's advocating for Jesse.
Yep.
He's trying to keep him safe. And yeah, he says it then. If I'm remembering right. I think this is the scene that looks like a Western.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. But yeah, man, say my name.
And it became an internet legend.
Yeah,
of
that
things.
and one other line that we're going to mention here in a minute.
Yeah.
Those are probably the 2 most iconic lines of the show, I would say.
This one and whatever else we're gonna say later.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next on the list.
Yeah, your turn.
It's when Jesse realizes that Walt poisoned Brock.
Yeah. So Philip was like, "Can we combine these 2?" And I was like, "Nah, they're 2 completely different entities, all within itself." So what happens?
So this is so Jesse's about to leave, be done. He's got Saul has given him a way out, and he's gonna take it. He's waiting for the van on the side of the road, and as he's waiting, he's like, "Oh, I need a pack of cigarettes."
Yeah.
And he realizes something.
They switched out his dope.
They done switched it out. And so instead of going into the van, he goes back to Saul and he says, "You stole my cigarette."
Yeah.
And
I love it. Saul's so confused. He's like, "Yeah, all right, I took it from you." And then he's like, "No, the first time." So then that's when he realizes Walt did poison Brock.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to remember, did he poison him with the ricin or with the Lily of the Valley flower?
I think that he used Lily of the Valley in the ricin.
So he just kind of makes 2 so that people would think it was the Lily of the Valley? Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, and man, Aaron Paul's acting.
So good.
I think, honestly, I might enjoy Aaron Paul's performance more than Bryan Cranston's.
It's very good. It's a little more down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Something like that. More believable in some senses.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because he's a more believable character than Walter White.
Yeah.
That might be why. But man, yeah, that scene when he's just yelling at Saul.
Yep.
We just watched that scene right before we did this. Man, is it good.
Very good.
And Philip, I could tell he was like, he's like, it's hard because you just want him to leave. Philip was like getting into it just while we're watching that 3-minute clip.
Yep. All the memories are coming back.
Yeah. You watching it for the first time? Man, I like envy people who haven't watched this, who like have yet to see it for the first time. Yep. Okay, number 7, the other probably most famous line.
Yes.
It's I am the one who knocks, or I am the danger. He says both those lines in that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically. Do you want to explain this or?
Yeah, So Skylar and him are talking, and all the good lines are with him and Skylar, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And she's, worried about him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how she says it. Man, I hate Skylar so much.
She gets better. The last season, she's not as bad.
But she's still awful.
Like you feel for.
I feel for her.
In the last 3 episodes, you're like, okay, I do feel bad for her.
But still, she plays the part so dang well that
I know.
hate her.
I know.
I saw a comment that somebody was like, Skylar is such a good actress that I hate her in real life. So anyway, she's saying like, what if somebody comes and, shoots you down at the door, and then he says, I am the you think they're dangerous. I am the danger.
Yeah.
I am the one who knocks.
He says it just like that too.
I am the one who knocks. Not them.
Yeah. Well, he's like, who do you think I am?
Yeah.
It changes on a dime. You're like, oh crap, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because she kind of has the upper hand in that moment, and then all
Until
of a sudden,
that happens, yeah.
here it
Who
comes.
do you think I am? Jeez. All right. At number 6, Philip.
Hank's death.
This is the other death I was talking about earlier, where I, in a million years, would never have guessed that they would kill him
Yep.
off.
They done did it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that leads up to this. I don't remember exactly how they get into the situation of like Walt being in the car and.
Oh, I do.
Okay, if you want to explain that part.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is another thing that we haven't really mentioned, and we're not going to. So I'll go ahead and do it now. When Jesse turns on Walt and goes to the police.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he starts working with Hank.
Yeah.
Well, he knows he doesn't know where Walt's money is buried.
Yeah.
But he knows in what way he buried it. What tub, and that it's in the desert somewhere.
Yep.
So they fake a picture saying, "Hey, I know where your money's at."
Oh, and then they follow him.
Well, yeah, Walt is like driving on the phone and he's like yelling at Jesse.
Yes.
And Jesse's like pretending like he's burning it on the other side.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And he's like, Jesse! Well, yeah, then he gets there and no one's there.
Yep.
And then he sees Hank and Jesse and stuff pull up. They arrest him.
Yep.
He's in the back of the car when Uncle Jack and Todd show up.
Yep. Now, how did they find out? Did he tell them?
Somehow he gets the coordinates. Jack does. Oh! I'll tell you what. I think he calls because he thinks it's just Jesse. So he calls Jack and he says, "I need you to kill Jesse for me. I'm at this coordinates." Then he realizes that Hank is there.
Oh,
And
yes.
he's like,
That's
"Well,
what it
Hank's
is.
family."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Never mind." And he hangs up. Well, Jack ends up showing up anyways.
Yeah. Oh.
So then what happens?
Yeah. So then, freaking Hank and what's his partner's name?
Shoot. Gomez.
Gomez. Oh man. I like Gomez.
I do too. Until this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like basically doing a standoff. They all get out of the car. They've all got their guns out, and Walt is like saying, "No, don't shoot."
Yeah,
Don't
he's like
shoot."
yelling his
Yes.
head off in the car.
And then they just start shooting away.
Yeah.
And it's a brutal
Bloodbath.
And eventually Hank has to. Well, I don't know exactly how it gets into the situation. where
Gomez
Hank-
dies. He gets shot.
Yeah.
And then they basically have Hank at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And Walt gets out of the car and he's trying to bid for Hank's life.
And Hank says, "You're the smartest man I know, but you're too stupid to see that they decided 10 minutes ago."
Yeah,
what's gonna happen."
he made up his mind 10 minutes ago.
Ugh.
And he gets shot in the head.
Yep.
And my reaction was the same as Walt's. I was like, what? What just happened here?
Yep.
I think because then this is in hindsight, it's like, oh, that needed to happen for this chain of events of the consequences of what Walt did to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have gotten away with it
Yep.
if Hank hadn't died. So it's just like heartbreaking
It is.
because Hank goes through so much throughout the course of the show.
Yep.
He goes through his like physical therapy.
Yeah.
Because he got shot by Tuco's cousins.
Oh man.
In the parking lot, and like you're just like, never in a million years would they get him back up to health and then just kill him off, but they do.
Sure did.
And it's crazy. Yeah, man,
Don't be a DEA agent.
yeah,
DEA.
don't do that. And I love this scene because it's probably the first time and only time that once Walt has become Heisenberg, he reverts back to Walt.
Oh. I could. Yeah.
Because he's like bidding, he's like pleading again.
Yeah,
He's like, please don't do this. Like, he's family. Like, I can't lose. This cannot happen.
Yep.
And that persona of Heisenberg is kind of lifted for a bit.
That's true. You're right.
Okay. And moving forward.
Wait.
I know.
Wait. I need to get the bowl.
It's right there.
Where?
Your hat.
Oh, my hat's the bowl.
Yep. We have Philip's new segment of the show. Now shake it up real good. All right. They're gonna fall out. Okay, so would you like to explain your new segment, Philip?
Okay. Yes. So we have a guest here today.
Oh no,
His name's Cappy.
Cappy.
And today's segment is called Cashing In on Capitalism with Cappy, the Crappy Capitalist.
There we go. I love it.
It is CCCCC for short.
Okay.
Just in case you're curious.
Thank you.
And in this segment, why don't you ask Cappy what it's about?
Cappy, what's this new segment about?
Oh, hey, this is Cappy.
Okay. All right. Just cool and suave Philip, I guess.
What? No, this is a completely different voice. This is
Okay. All
Cappy.
right. What's up, Cappy?
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
What's up?
I'm gonna. You have provided some wonderful items in a bag
I have.
that I will pull out,
Yes.
and
He doesn't know what they are yet.
I do not know what they are. Cappy, the capitalist, the crappy capitalist. It's strange that I called myself Cappy.
Are you talking third person
Yeah. Anyway,
or
and then-
first person? I don't. Whichever
I
one.
am what I am. And I'm gonna look up reviews
On Amazon.
because I realized there's one aspect of capitalism and classic countdown conversations. I didn't mean to say capitalism. There's one aspect of classic countdown conversations that we've missed.
Okay.
And that's mass media shopping.
Okay.
So
Because that is part of pop culture.
it's part of pop culture.
Okay.
So here we go.
All right.
Part episode 1
Okay.
of
CCCCCC.
CCCCC.
Okay.
It is we're gonna look up reviews and to help you decide what's best. Oh wait, I have a tagline. Hold on. It's a show within a podcast where Cappy helps you make good buying decisions.
Okay. All right.
All right, so here we go. Ready?
Yep.
All right. So this one is. Oh, perfect. Jessica Fletcher / Angela Lansbury action figures or dolls.
there we go.
So I'm going to do some research for you real quick.
Okay. To see if they're even out there, first off.
I believe that anything exists.
And if they are, then what people say about it.
So I'm going to look up Angela Lansbury. Doesn't come up very easily. Lansbury doll?
Yeah. Or action
Let's do
figure.
doll. And now listen. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
But there's 7 left of Murder, She Wrote, Signs for Fun, fake Angela Lansbury ID cards. So let's see the
Let's read
reviews
about it.
here and see how people are doing it. There are no reviews, surprisingly, no reviews. This is very sad. Guys, guys, there's a lot of fake ID cards for celebrities. A lot of them that are very bad. Like a lot. Let's look up Nick Carter. So Nick Carter, Backstreet Boy, very famous. Let's look up the reviews here.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, cool. So all 5 stars.
Yeah.
So highly suggest buying. So don't buy Angela Lansbury. But if you're in the mood for some fake IDs that are stars, I guess.
Okay.
Do this one, and it's exactly what I ordered and wanted. Says someone.
All right.
Nice item, well packaged, says L. And F. Miller, he says it's good quality.
Is that Frank Miller?
I don't know. Could be.
Okay.
So that's that. You
right.
can get that one by November 13th if you want it.
Okay.
So yeah, that highly suggest getting Nick Carter's driver's license. on
But
Amazon.
sadly, there is no Jessica Fletcher action
really
figures
sad
or dolls.
about that. But I'm Cappy the Crappy Capitalist to help you find out what's best to buy.
Okay. All right. And now you can just throw that one to the side and we'll keep the other ones in there for next week.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
See you, Cappy.
Bye, Cappy.
Bye.
All right. Moving on to number 5. my all-time favorite moment of the show. This is what kind of propelled this in my mind to the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And that is the moment that I have named Run.
Run.
So this is towards the end of the third season.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff has happened, and Jesse's fed up. He's fed up with kids getting killed, essentially, because Jesse has a soft spot for kids. So there's two, what are they called? Gang members?
Yeah.
Over in their little spot that he knows
corner.
of. Jesse's been clean at this point as far as like drug usage goes for a while.
Yep.
And he decides to shoot up, which I was sitting there watching. I was like, no, Jesse, no.
Don't do it.
He shoots up heroin, I think, or whatever it is. And then he goes and he's basically going to kill these guys if it kills him.
Yep.
So he's on his way. He's walking over. The editing's crazy. It's like going in on him and going out.
Yeah.
And the two gang members start drawing out their guns.
Yep.
Jesse pulls his out. He points it at them.
Yep.
Shootout's about to happen.
And you hear something in the background.
Yeah, you hear some car wheels screeching, and Walt comes in, runs over the two guys.
Yes. it's
a great shot.
Definitely
it looks so
a dummy.
real.
Definitely a dummy.
Oh, really?
flying
I
up
think
in the air.
it looks so real.
I mean, I've never seen anybody get run over by a car, so I can't really tell you.
So one goes over the windshield,
Yep.
and one gets completely just run over.
Yep.
That guy dies on impact, I would assume.
Yep.
Because he's going fairly quickly. Jesse's face is that of utter shock.
Yep.
Walt gets out, runs over, picks up the gun, and the one guy that went over the windshield's like crawling. He's got like broken legs and stuff. And Walt shoots him in the head. And
away he goes.
Jesse is just in awe looking at Walt, and Walt says, run. Because Gus he doesn't say this part, but he says basically because Gus is coming for him. Tells him to run, and the episode ends. And it's fantastic.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Oof. Speaking of Gus, number 4 is Gus's death.
Man, oh man.
His demise. So, what's the Mexican guy's name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, Gus is in a nursing home.
I'm gonna figure this out.
And there's a character that's he doesn't speak English.
Yeah, something's wrong with him.
Yeah, or anything, I guess. And he has a bell that
He's
he uses.
in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair, and he has a bell that kind of communicates for him when he needs something. And he's a real jerk most of the show.
Yeah.
And but he's like the grandfather of Mexican drug lords or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gus is there. I think he's gonna kill him. Am I right, Daniel? Am I right? He's got like a something to what is that called? A shot of some sort to give him. And I'm pretty sure that's going to murder him. And
his name's Tio.
Tio, yeah.
Tio Salamanca.
Yeah, that sounds right. And so so Gus is, thinking he's a hot shot, and Tio
and Walt are conspiring together.
Yeah, you don't realize it. I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
But
you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Tio starts ding, 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 ding,
on the bell.
And he does it so fast. And Gus is like, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I should stop there before there. Gus is like, will you look at me?
Oh, yeah.
And he won't look at him. And then eventually, like, Gus is about to like get him with the shot, and he looks. The Tio looks over at Gus, and he gets like giant eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he's so angry at Gus,
and then he starts hitting the bell, and Gus is like, "What?" And then all of a sudden, explosion happens.
He realizes just a bit. Gus does realize right before it happens.
Yeah,
but it's a little too late.
Yeah, and so then the shot moves to outside of the room,
the hospital room.
Yeah, and Gus walks out, adjusts his tie, and the camera moves to the left side, and there's Two-Face.
Yeah,
Two-Face Gus.
Yeah, his face has been blown off.
Yeah, and it's just a good. I like go back and forth between man, it's too cheesy to like. Well, it's like perfect for him because he was like such a like. He was almost a cartoon of a character.
Yeah.
So,
well, and he was a two-faced person.
Yeah.
He had that mask on of this mild-mannered man.
Yeah. Chicken guy.
And
who loves
I think
police.
Even if it is too cartoony, you and I have discussed this before.
Yeah.
The show, the writing, and the storyline and your hatred for Gus all works together to make that moment work no matter what.
Right.
Even if it is a little too cartoony.
Yeah.
It's like it's built, the entire third and fourth season build up to that. And you're like, I don't care how they, as long as he died and it's done in a cool fashion, I don't care.
Yeah, it's almost, they had to do it big because of how much he's been built up.
Yes, yeah.
And so no matter how they did it, it was going to have to be somewhat cartoony.
Right, yeah. Yeah, man. That there's just such a, because you still think like, okay, he collapsed. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
But then on the news, they're like, Gus Fring is dead. And just like a burden is off your shoulders at that point. You're like, oh, Gus is gone. Walt's in the clear.
Yeah.
Because at this point, there's still a little bit of hint of you liking Walt.
Yeah.
And you're kind of still wanting him to succeed. But yeah, man.
It's a good scene. I think that scene is probably what did it for me.
What did what?
Like saying like this was the best show.
Okay.
Like, because I was into it.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This show's
I remember when,
crazy.
Because you had watched the show before I had.
Oh yeah.
I remember you telling me, you're like, just wait till Gus comes in. Just wait till Gus comes in. I was like, okay, all right, I'll wait till Gus comes in. And man, oh man, I was not prepared for him.
I was right.
Probably the best television villain of all time, I would say. Okay.
I give you a lot of good television
I know, thank
suggestions.
you. Arrested Development, Breaking Bad. Yeah, thank you very much.
It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did tell me that. Number 3.
Now podcasts. I give you good podcasts too. Jeez.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Red Letter Media.
Yeah, all the things that you
All
love.
the things I love came from Philip. Number 3. And this actually made it pretty high on the list. I wasn't thinking it would make it this high, but it is just such a... It's such a turning point.
It turns everything.
And that is Gale's death.
Oh, Gale.
It's such a turning point for the story and for the character of Jesse.
Yep.
Because he's like crying while he's doing it.
Oh man.
And you like Gale.
Yep.
He's like the first person that dies on the show that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
they kill him off, Gale. He is kind of weird,
He's definitely weird.
but like and even though he's helping this drug lord empire, you're still like, he's a good guy.
Yeah. He's just doing it for the science.
Yeah, and it's just heartbreaking when because so basically the reason why they do it is because Gale has learned enough from Walt to where he can take over for Walt, and they're gonna kill Walt.
Yep.
Well, Walt's not about that.
Yeah.
So of course he makes Jesse, which in that moment, like that was the only they had Walt. That's the only person that
Right.
you could do. And you think, oh man, that whole scene, like you think Walt's gonna turn on Jesse on the phone, and then he's like, do it now. And like Mike hangs up the phone really quick, and Jesse's on the other side of Gale's door.
Ugh.
Gale opens it up. Oh, it's so, Gale's like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah. Take whatever you want.
And Jesse's just like has tears in his eyes. And the camera pans around to head on, and it focuses in on the barrel of the gun, cuts to black. And I think you hear the gunshot.
Yeah.
And is that the end of the season?
You know, it might be. I watched it on Netflix, so there were
I
no
know, me
season
too.
distinctions for me.
Me too.
Except for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, the end of the 4th season ends pretty. You're like, okay, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
The story. But yeah, man, it's just, and then like from then on, Jesse's changed. He's a different person. He's not the same as who he was before. And it's just so good. It makes me sad.
Yep. Man, oh man.
Makes me sad that I'll never make something as good as Breaking Bad.
Someday you can. Number 2.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of a crazy moment.
Yeah.
All these crazy moments. Letting Jane die. And then having to tell Jesse too. I guess we put it
We
as one.
we clumped two things together.
Man, oh man. So Jane is Jesse's girlfriend.
In the second season?
Is that early?
Yeah.
Okay. And basically she's good. She's trying to be good. She's trying not to do drugs and helping Jesse.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
eventually they have a relapse together.
Yeah.
And Walt does he find out, or does he's just going over?
He goes over for something.
Yeah.
Well, basically, because Jane's basically blackmailing Walt.
Oh, that's right.
She's like, Jesse doesn't need you anymore. He's coming with me.
Yeah,
And they're going to leave.
Yep. And Walt ain't gonna have that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not under Walt's plan.
Yeah. And so he goes over there. He sees them both high or asleep and high with drugs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Jane starts overdosing. And he's about to save her. Like, he has his arms, like, and it starts to tilt her over, and then it, like, lets go. And then, just lets her die. I started to watch this episode. I was like, not the episode, that scene.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, can't watch it. Gotta skip. It's too much.
Because he realizes if she lives, then Jesse isn't his anymore.
Yeah. And so he lets her die. Do you want to explain the having to tell Jesse?
Yeah, so he doesn't have to. So right after Hank's death, Jesse runs away during this whole excursion, hides under a vehicle, under a car. Well, as Walt's kind of finalizing some stuff with Uncle Jack, he looks over and he sees Jesse underneath the car, and he says, "You still owe me, Jesse Pinkman."
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, we'll try to find him. He's like, I can tell you exactly where he's at. And so they get him out from underneath the car. They have him down. They're about to shoot him. And Todd's like, because Walt's leaving at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, Jesse, we still need that blue meth to make money. He's like, Jesse knows the ingredient. He's like, we could use him for a while and then finish the job. And Jack's like, you got a problem with that? And Walt's like, no, not really. So as they're taking Jesse away and Jesse's trying to, get away, Walt's like, oh, one more thing. And he looks Jesse straight in the eye. He says, the night Jane died, I was there and I let it happen.
Ugh.
And then he walks away.
Ugh.
And that, like, I lied before when I said that's the most I've ever hated Walt. I don't remember what moment I said that about him. But this, when he kills Mike, this is the moment you most hate Walt.
Yeah. Oh.
Because it's like, you didn't need to do that, Walt.
Yep. Just piling it on Jesse.
And that's the secret he was going to spill the beans about when we mentioned earlier when they're killing the fly.
Right.
He was going to, it's leading up to him telling Jesse that he that he killed Jane.
Yep.
And then that's the last time that Walt and Jesse see each other until the end of the show.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great segue, ain't it?
It is a great segue to our number one moment of the entire series of Breaking Bad. You go ahead and say it.
Oh, really? You're giving me the honors?
Well, or we can do it together.
Well, do you want to just say the word then?
Okay, yeah. The finale. That was great.
That's a little bit. We did a little much. That was. I mean, it's the whole last 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah. So I would say, like, from the moment that Walt pulls into the parking lot,
Okay.
to the last shot of
Yeah.
the show, just so much happens. Would you like to explain his Walt's plan at this point?
All I remember is that he's been like, I think the very first shot of the last season is he opens up the trunk
Yeah,
and he's got a load of guns. Mm-hmm. And so you just know
he's at Denny's.
He's at Denny's and he looks way different, and it's just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so this is like the culmination of all of that.
Yeah.
of him. He's got this giant. What do you call that?
It's like not a Gatling gun, but like just a big machine gun.
It's a big old machine gun.
Yeah.
They talk about it in El Camino, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
How he shouldn't have had it because it was military grade.
Right.
And so he's got this giant gun in his trunk that's going to pop open at a certain time.
Yeah.
And
if he clicks the car key button.
Yep. And it'll just start shooting away.
Yeah.
So
big old rounds.
Big old rounds that shoot through walls.
Yeah. So he's in the room with Jack, and he's like, they're basically making amends because Jack stole all his money.
Yeah.
And he's like, you still owe me Jesse. Like, can I see him? So they bring Jesse in, and Jesse looks like a homeless man, like because they're keeping him in a cage. And you think it's at that moment that he decides to save Jesse?
I don't know.
When he sees him?
Yeah.
Because it seems almost like he wants Jesse to be a part of everyone dying.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then it's almost like as soon as he sees him, that residual, like, he was my partner, and like I actually cared like him, like my own son.
Yeah.
I think it's the moment he looks at him is when he decides, okay, I'm going to tackle him, and we're going to try to avoid this gun. So that's exactly what happens. He tackles Jesse onto the floor and pretends like he's fighting with him.
Yep.
And then the Gatlinburg,
the whole city of Gatlinburg just comes straight after them.
The Gatlin-esque gun goes off, kills everyone in the room except for Todd and Uncle Jack.
Oh yeah.
And Jesse and Walt.
Yep.
And then you explain what happens to Jack and Todd.
So Jesse decides to murder Todd with his handcuffs, and so he chokes him to death. Oof. And then
what a scene.
Yeah. And then Uncle
Jack
is not quite dead. Definitely is bleeding to death.
Yeah.
He like coughs out blood as soon as it pans over to
Yeah.
him. And he grabs a cigarette, and Walt looks at him, points a gun to him, and he's just like, well, I can if you kill me, you're not going to know where the money is. And just as soon as he says that, Walt pulls the trigger and
just shoots him in the head. And that's the moment where you're like, Walt's not in it for the money anymore.
Yep.
He's just tying up loose ends.
Yep.
And then probably my second favorite moment in the entire series, right after the run moment.
Yeah.
Jesse has a gun pointed at Walt.
Yes.
And he says, "Do it. I know you want this."
Mm-hmm.
And because the entire show, Walt's basically manipulating Jesse into doing things that he wants to do, but making it seem like it's what Jesse wants to do.
Yep.
So Jesse yells and he's like, "Say the words."
Yep.
It's like, nothing happens until I hear you say it. And man, is it heartbreaking to hear these words come out of Walt. Like, it literally, it just sent a shiver down my spine now. It did when we were watching it earlier. To hear, because his voice is like so broken when he says it. He's like, I want this.
Yep.
It's like, Walt, where'd you go wrong? Why do you have to come, go this way? Jesse realizes that he's been shot by the gun.
Yep.
And but that Walt has been. Throws the gun on the ground and says, "Then do it yourself," and he walks out.
Ugh, so good.
Then the whole thing with the lady happens. He calls the lady, and she's been poisoned with the ricin.
Yep.
Walks out, and Jesse's getting into the El Camino. Mm-hmm. And they look at each other one last time and kind of give like a nod, like this is where we're at, and this is like everything that happens behind us, and we're about to move on with our lives. Like, and Jesse takes off and escapes. And then what happens with
and then
Walt?
Walt goes into the meth lab basically and just observes, checks it out, sees the good things that he's shown Jesse how to do.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand on a big old tank.
Yeah.
And the shot moves in, you can see his reflection, and all of a
Cop
sudden
cars are in the back.
Yep. You can hear the sirens, and he falls backwards. And the shot goes over top of his dead corpse and does this really cool pan
pan up.
And it spins around.
Yeah. And
Cops come in and there's this wonderful song.
Yeah. Got what I deserved.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just kind of poetic that he ends up dying amongst like the equipment that led to his downfall.
Yep.
And yeah, thus ends the perfect show.
Oof. Man, I feel
This is gonna be a long episode.
yeah, I feel down.
You feel down?
I feel down. This show gets me down.
Well, should we move into a segment that is the opposite of being
Yeah.
down?
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about getting enjoyment.
Okay.
Past few seasons, we've noticed a little trend.
Past one season.
Past few seasons.
Okay.
And that trend is that nobody gives us ratings. It's really strange.
Yeah.
And so I realized, you know what? I think that's just going to change this season.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a new rating every week.
Okay.
So
I'm excited about this.
so here we go.
All right.
Today's rating,
And in this segment, we like to call Joyment.
enjoyment. It's brought to you by Carl's.
Carl's, like Carl's Jr.?
Just Carl's.
Okay. All right.
And Carl says, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for all you do. Keep it up. Glad the big boys are on the podcast now.
Is it boys BOIS?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So thanks, Carl's.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl's.
That was great.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad that we got a new review from Carl's.
Man. I think it's sadder knowing it's not real.
Shh, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. All right.
We have to make up our own. It's so sad.
You know what's fun? Becca, my cousin Becca,
Yeah.
she did say that she left a written review, but I can't find it.
Becca's a liar.
Becca, you liar.
Liar, Becca.
All right.
Try it again. If it didn't work once, try it a dang another time. Please. One more time. Do it as many times as you can. That's what I say.
Yeah.
So what's happening next week?
So next week, we're getting closer and closer to one of the best holidays of all time, Thanksgiving. Next week, we're going to be talking about some food.
Some food?
Around Thanksgiving time.
Is that first?
It is first, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll explain it to you. But yeah, next week we'll be talking about some yummies.
Some yum yums?
Some yum yums around Thanksgiving time.
Yum yums in your tum tums.
So stay tuned.
Get ready. And if you've got some yum yums that you want us to talk about, let us know.
Okay.
And don't forget about what I talked about earlier. Not you, Daniel, the listeners. You know what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We love you.
We love you.
Bye. So what do you want to get for lunch?